bún thịt nướng, grilled meat with round rice noodle. Let's go get it.
Chào buổi sáng quý vị khán giả, một tuần mới nữa lại đến rồi. Chúc quý vị sẽ có một ngày mới thật nhiều niềm vui và tràn đầy năng lượng.
Hey, this is Chad Kubanov, and this is Breakfast for a Buck. This series where we take you out for breakfast, sometimes, and sometimes it's less than a buck. Sometimes it's more than a buck, but it's always good and cheap. So this is one of my favorite spots in Saigon, Vietnam to get a grilled pork noodle dish. Let's go try it. This is at 132 15th Street. This is Bún Thịt Nướng and Quit. That's the name of the restaurant. Today we're here for a Bún Thịt Nướng. This is a famous like grilled pork noodle dish, famous in the South. Bún is round rice noodle. Here is like meat, and nướng is grilled. So this is grilled meat with round rice noodle. So like 90% of the time when you come to a Bún Thịt Nướng vendor, they have more than just grilled meat. You can also get nem nướng, which is like a grilled pork sausage, or gyao, which is like a spring roll. You can get a mix of all three. You can just get one if you prefer that, or two, it's up to you. But there's always a little bit of choice. I prefer to get all three. It may be a little bit strange to you to have grilled pork or grilled meat for breakfast, but it's super, super common in Vietnam, and I wish I could eat it every day. Anh ơi, motto đặc biệt, không ra giúp cá.
Get ready.
Like so many other dishes, bún thịt nướng starts with a bed of vegetables, including bean sprouts, cucumbers, and a few different herbs. This sort of base is what makes Vietnamese food feel so light and refreshing. You often find a lot in Vietnamese cuisine that things are commonly served at room temperature, and these rice noodles are no different. Another reason that makes this dish feel so light and refreshing. One reason this vendor stands out more than others to me is that the meat is always freshly grilled. They always have a new batch of meat coming every 15 or 20 minutes. It's so common to see pork on pork on pork in Vietnamese dishes, so this is one. And of course, the deep fried pork spring roll. Triple pork, I'm in. Top all of that with 2 different kinds of barbecue pork, some green onion oil, crushed peanuts, and serve. Chúc ngon miệng. All right, so how do we eat this thing? Every time you get this dish, you're always gonna get a side of fish sauce. Sometimes that'll be on the table for you to pour in, and sometimes it'll come as a cup. This comes in a little cup. If you want, you season with chili. I do. You just add as much as you want. That's cool to me. And inside this fish sauce, there's a little bit of pickled carrot and pickled daikon radish. And then we can just pour this whole thing right into our bowl. So we'll mix it up. This fish sauce is not straight fish sauce. It's diluted with water and sugar and vinegar, so it's very mild. And then we have all the fresh herbs at the bottom. This looks so good. So I ordered this dak viet style, which is just special style, means comes with everything. The nem nướng, or this is like the pork sausage that's cooked on the skewer, almost like a pork meatball. I also have with the gyao, the spring roll. So this is like a triple pork noodle bowl. I think Vietnam is the king of triple pork items. Then the grilled meat in here as well. All right, let's try it. I don't know what I want to grab first. All right, I like the nem. I'm gonna go sausage. This is a good spot. I just drove by this place one day. It was busy. Luckily, I stopped, and this is now one of my favorite spots for this dish. That's one of the things I love about Vietnam so much. You just drive on your bike, and all the vendors are right on the street, so you see everything that's happening. Sometimes you pass by something that looks good or smells good or is busy. You just stop, pull over, and it may become your favorite new spot. That's what happened here. Let's try the pork. It's such a refreshing dish. Everything's room temperature, so it's not hot, it's not cold, but the meat's hot when it's put on top, so it has a very sort of light feeling to it. You don't feel heavy after eating this. This is one of those dishes I love in Vietnamese cuisine where it kind of blurs the line of, is this a salad? Is this a noodle dish? It's somewhere in between. There's so many dishes like that in Vietnamese cuisine. To me, it makes it so interesting. You don't know how to categorize it exactly, and this is some kind of noodle salad, and I love it. It's such a bright flavor with all the fresh herbs, the light fish sauce, and the pickles and the peanuts, but then it has the grilled meat on top, so it doesn't feel like weak. It still feels satisfying. Whether you're gonna come here or go to another spot for Bún Thịt Nướng, always get dak viet, always get the special. It's so good to go back and forth between the sausage, the grilled meat, and the spring roll. I love it. And the spring rolls here kick butt. You may have heard when I ordered it, I said không ra giúp cá, which is a type of herb that sometimes is served with this dish. That is the only thing I do not like in Vietnam, and if you don't like that herb, make sure you do ask for it without the fish herb. That can be commonly served with this dish. This place does serve it as well, so I'm always careful. So if that's something you try to avoid, make sure you remind them when you order this. I put a good amount of chili in here, though. I need a drink. Em ơi, một chai nước sắm. It's a little bit spicy. I just got one of my favorite drinks. So this is a nước sắm. This is like a type of sweetened herbal tea. It's one of my favorite drinks right now. I love it. We'll definitely have a more in-depth video about this drink coming up, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about it. This place is also cool because they serve another kind of noodle called bánh hỏi, which is also made with white flour, but a very different shape. So we can try that too. Basically, we have the same dish with the same vegetables, the same toppings, but the noodle is different. This one is bánh hỏi. So this is like a webbed noodle or a spider noodle. It's tiny little strands shaped into a little rectangle, and the texture is so interesting. You can see it comes out in these big sheets. It's almost like webbing. It's almost like spider webs. Very, very cool noodle. Used in a few certain dishes, but I love it. I love this texture. It's very soft, very delicate. Some people use it and roll it up in certain things. I haven't actually seen it done this way where it's just served like bunta nung would be, but I love this. So if you're looking for another option or another texture, try the ban hoi. You can see the ban hoi just soaks up the sauce right away. It's just like a sponge for sauce. You ready? All right, let's try this one. I love this spot. So I get so many questions all the time on TikTok and YouTube. If you're not following me on TikTok, you should be. Is the food safe to eat in Vietnam? Yeah, I'm here, I'm eating it. Yeah, it's safe to eat in Vietnam. There's a chance you may have some stomach issues. There's also a chance you may have some stomach issues eating at McDonald's or Burger King or wherever you're from. Everywhere you eat, there's always a little bit of danger. But in my view, every time I get sick, I get stronger, so that doesn't scare me at all. And there's no way that I'm coming to Vietnam and not gonna eat the food here. That's not gonna happen. So I say go for it, eat everything, get stronger. Let's try the next spot. So we just had the southern style bún thịt nướng, and so now we're gonna try the northern style bún chả. So bún is round rice noodle again, and chả is like a pork type of sausage. It's a big word, it's used for a lot of things, but basically it means a sausage of some kind. And I think this is sữa. I think that's just the name of this restaurant. So she was very nice to see that I'm sitting here in the sun. She gave me her hat.
Look like Vietnamese.
I look like Vietnamese now?
Yeah.
Beautiful. One thing I always look for bún chả is you want to see somebody grilling outside. This dish, it's super important that the meat is just grilled, because it goes inside the light fish sauce, the freshly grilled pork meat, all the juices hit the fish sauce. So it has to come right off the grill, and that's what's going on right here. And that's why we pulled over at this spot, because we saw her grilling outside. It looks good. Once the meat is beautifully charred on the outside, it's ready to go. She cuts it up and puts it in the bowl. Now it's ready for that light special fish sauce on top. The fish sauce for bún chả shows how delicate fish sauce can be. It is the lightest version. It's almost like a soup. A little bit sour, a little bit sweet, but very savory. The complete order comes with noodles, a basket full of herbs, and so much more to try. So how do we eat this thing? Let me show you. So in this version, we get a much lighter fish sauce, so it's almost like a soup instead of a sauce. Just like the bún thịt nướng, just like the southern style, we'll have chili that we can season it with. So I'm gonna add some chili here. So in the southern style, we have the pickled carrot and the pickled daikon radish, but in northern style, we have pickled green papaya and pickled carrot. And that goes right into my warm fish sauce broth. As much as you want. I'm gonna put it all, I like it. Bún chả, or this northern style pork noodle, it has the lightest fish sauce of any dish in the whole country that I've ever tasted. It's so light and so delicate, you can drink it just like a soup. It's great. Now, everybody eats this in a different way, but my friend from Hanoi showed me the Hanoian way to eat it, so I'll show you that way. With our basket of herbs, you can just tear whatever kind you want. I'm gonna use some lettuce here and just throw that in my broth. And then whatever herbs you will want, so I'll use some of the spearmint and some of the Thai basil. Tear that up. I'll give that a quick mix. All right, so the noodles, you can just grab a little handful and then you just dip it right in the broth. That's so good. This dish, you just keep adding more and more stuff to your bowl. It's like your fish sauce bowl is the home, and as you finish your herbs, you just keep putting more herbs in. As you finish your noodle, you just keep putting more noodle in. And try that pickle too. I love the green papaya. It's so crunchy, but very neutral flavor. Let's try the meat. Just like the southern version, we have a grilled pork meatball. We have a sliced grilled pork as well, although this is always the belly. We got some noodle and a meatball this time. That look awesome. There's just something about grilled pork and fish sauce. It is a good combination. It just works. When tasting the grilled meat, the southern style versus northern style, they're pretty similar, except the northern style is a pork belly, so there's a little bit of a different texture with the pork belly. The big difference is the spring roll, where the southern style is really just pork and ear mushroom, and sometimes taro, sometimes noodle. The northern style always has crab, so this is nem ran cua. So instead of saying chả giò, they say nem ran. And the standard northern crab spring roll comes with corn and ear mushroom and glass noodle, so it's really good too. And you eat this the same way. You just bring it into your fish sauce, use that as your dip. I just love spring rolls. Every time I get a chance to have a spring roll, I always get it. Both of these dishes, I'm always excited to see them because I get a spring roll with it. Do the same thing with your spring roll. Eat it with your noodle. Throw a pickle on there, get the full bite. This is a good spot. I've never been here before. I'm surprised, I'm happy it's a good spot. Pretty much no matter where you go, the food's always good, but it's not always a great spot. This is a pretty darn good spot. I'll definitely come back here. Again, this is just one of the things I love about Vietnamese food is, what is this? Is this a salad? Is this a noodle bowl? Is this a soup? I have no idea. This one, even more so than the previous dish, it's room temperature, but the broth is hot, the meat is hot. It's just confusing but delicious. This is definitely one of the most famous dishes from Hanoi. So I think I'm gonna have to go to Hanoi and try a real bowl up there. Yeah, come on, Jane, let's go to Hanoi and try a bowl. Not this episode, another episode. I'm full, but I still need a coffee. Bún Thang Nung and Bún Chả are both super popular and super delicious dishes. Available basically everywhere in any city. If you have any questions about either dish, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions about any dish in Vietnam, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, this is Breakfast for a Buck, and I'll see you later.